Welcome to Radiant Aging, where growing older means growing stronger, healthier, and happier every day. Have you ever felt a little off, like something wasn't quite right with your body, but you brushed it off, thinking it was nothing? Maybe a slight dizziness, a strange numbness, or trouble finding the right words. It's easy to ignore these little things, to think, oh, I'm just getting older. But what if I told you that some of these signs could be your body trying to warn you of something serious, something life-threatening? A stroke can happen to anyone, but as we age, the risk increases. The good news is that strokes often come with warning signs, and if we recognize them early enough, we can act fast and prevent the worst from happening. And that's exactly why we're here today, to talk about 6 critical warning signs of a stroke that you should never ignore. This isn't about scaring you. It's about empowering you with the knowledge to protect yourself and your loved ones. Let's start with something that might surprise you. Sudden trouble with speech. Imagine sitting at the breakfast table, talking with a friend or family member, and suddenly, the words just don't come out right. Maybe they sound slurred, or you can't seem to get your thoughts into sentences. This isn't just forgetfulness or one of those days. It could be your brain signaling that something is wrong. When blood flow to the brain is disrupted, even for a short time, it can affect speech. And if that happens, it's not the time to wait and see if it gets better. It's time to call for help immediately. Now, let's talk about something even more subtle, unexpected weakness or numbness, especially on one side of the body. Picture this. You reach for your cup of coffee, but your hand feels heavy, almost as if it doesn't belong to you. Or maybe you wake up and notice that one side of your face feels strange, like you just came from the dentist, even though you haven't. These signs might seem small, but they can be the first indication of a stroke happening in real time. The sooner you recognize them, the sooner you can act, and that can mean the difference between a full recovery and permanent damage. Another sign that often goes unnoticed: vision problems. Have you ever suddenly found it hard to see out of one eye, or noticed that your vision seemed blurred or doubled out of nowhere? It's easy to assume it's just fatigue or maybe an issue with your glasses, but sudden vision changes can be a major warning sign of a stroke. The blood supply to the brain is directly linked to your eyesight, and if it's interrupted, your vision may be affected. The key here is sudden. If your vision changes abruptly, don't ignore it. Get medical help right away. These are just a few of the warning signs, and each of them is a reason to take action fast. We often think of health issues as things that develop slowly over time, but strokes don't wait. They happen quickly, and the faster you respond, the better your chances of recovery. That's why recognizing these signs isn't just important, it's life-saving. Now that we start to understand how crucial it is to recognize the early warning signs of a stroke, let's continue with more symptoms that should never be ignored. Another common sign that often goes unnoticed is sudden vision trouble. Imagine you're reading your favorite book or watching TV, and out of nowhere, your vision blurs, or you start seeing double. It might be easy to dismiss this as simple eye strain, but if it happens suddenly and without explanation, it could be a sign that a stroke is affecting the part of your brain responsible for vision. Some people even experience temporary blindness in one eye. The key here is that if your vision changes abruptly, especially combined with other symptoms, you need to take action immediately. Then there's dizziness and loss of balance. We all have moments where we feel a little off balance, maybe from standing up too quickly or feeling a bit dehydrated. But if you suddenly feel dizzy, disoriented, or like the ground is shifting beneath you, it could be a serious sign that a stroke is interfering with your brain's ability to coordinate movement. This is especially dangerous because it increases the risk of falling, which can lead to other injuries. If you or someone you're with experiences sudden dizziness, especially along with weakness or trouble speaking, don't try to shake it off. Get medical help immediately. A lesser known but equally alarming sign is a sudden and severe headache. Now, Headaches are common, and most of the time, they're nothing to worry about. But if you experience a headache that comes on suddenly and feels like the worst headache of your life, it could be a warning sign of a hemorrhagic stroke, which is caused by bleeding in the brain. This type of stroke is particularly dangerous, and acting fast is critical. Some people describe it as an intense pressure in their head or a sensation like an explosion. If you ever feel something like that, don't wait. Seek emergency medical help right away. One more important warning sign to pay attention to is confusion or trouble understanding speech. Maybe you're in the middle of a conversation and suddenly the words don't seem to make sense, or you find yourself struggling to understand what someone is saying to you. This isn't just forgetfulness. It could be a sign that a stroke is affecting the language processing areas of your brain. It might feel like your brain is moving in slow motion or words are jumbled. If you ever notice this in yourself or someone else, don't hesitate. Time is of the essence. By now, you can see how crucial it is to recognize these signs as soon as they appear. Every second counts when it comes to preventing serious complications from a stroke. The faster you act, the greater the chance of minimizing damage and even saving a life. Let's take a closer look at what to do if you or someone you know experiences any of these symptoms. Now that we've talked about the first few warning signs of a stroke, let's continue uncovering the critical symptoms that you should never ignore. Because the sooner you recognize them, the faster you can act, and that can make all the difference. One of the most alarming signs is sudden vision problems. Imagine going about your day, reading a book, watching TV, or simply walking outside, when suddenly your vision blurs or goes dark in one eye. It might feel like a shadow has been cast over part of your sight, or things may appear doubled. Many people brush this off, thinking it's just temporary eye strain, but this can be a huge mistake. Strokes can affect the part of the brain responsible for vision, and any sudden changes in eyesight, especially if they happen out of nowhere, should be taken very seriously. If you or someone you know experiences this, it's time to seek medical help immediately. Another critical sign is dizziness or loss of balance. Have you ever stood up and suddenly felt like the room was spinning? Maybe you felt unsteady, like you couldn't walk in a straight line, or as if the ground beneath you had shifted. Dizziness and difficulty maintaining balance can be linked to many things, like dehydration or a quick change in position. But when they come on suddenly and without explanation, they can be a red flag for a stroke. Strokes can affect the cerebellum, the part of the brain that controls balance and coordination. This means that someone having a stroke may suddenly struggle to walk, stumble, or even feel like they're about to fall over. If you notice this happening, don't assume it's just fatigue or vertigo. Take action immediately. Another telltale warning sign is a sudden, severe headache, one that feels unlike any headache you've ever had before. It can come on like a bolt of lightning, intense and overwhelming, often described as the worst headache of a person's life. This is especially concerning if it's accompanied by nausea, vomiting, or confusion. Many strokes are caused by a rupture in a blood vessel in the brain, leading to a hemorrhagic stroke. This type of stroke can cause sudden pressure and pain in the head, and it should never be ignored. If you or someone around you experiences an intense headache out of the blue, don't wait for it to pass. Seek medical help immediately. These symptoms might seem random, but they all have one thing in common. They come on suddenly and feel unusual or severe. Strokes happen fast, and they require fast action. Knowing these warning signs can help save your life or the life of a loved one. Let's keep going because there are still more signs that you need to be aware of. Now, we've talked about some of the most alarming early signs of a stroke, but there's one more that many people overlook. Yet it could be the most critical of all. Imagine waking up one morning, and as you try to send a simple text or write something down, your hand just won't cooperate. You know what you want to say, you know what you want to do, but suddenly your coordination is off. Maybe you knock over your coffee cup or struggle to hold onto your keys. This isn't just clumsiness. It could be a sign that something serious is happening in your brain. Loss of coordination and balance is often one of the last warnings the body gives before a stroke occurs. It can feel like dizziness, an unsteady gait, or even the sensation that the room is spinning. If you've ever stood up and felt lightheaded, you might dismiss it as dehydration or getting up too fast. But if this feeling lingers or worsens, you need to take action. Here's the truth. Time is everything. The moment you or someone you love experiences any of these symptoms, weakness in the face or limbs, slurred speech, confusion, blurred vision, or sudden dizziness, do not wait. Call for emergency help immediately. The faster medical treatment is given, the better the chances of reducing permanent damage. So, what can you do starting today? First, be proactive. Know your risk factors. High blood pressure, diabetes, smoking, and an unhealthy diet all increase your chances of having a stroke. Small lifestyle changes can make a world of difference. Add more movement to your day. Focus on heart-healthy foods, stay hydrated, and most importantly, listen to your body. It's always trying to tell you something. And let's not forget the power of knowledge. Share this information with your loved ones. Talk to your family about these warning signs. Awareness can save a life. It might even be your own. Before we go, I want to leave you with this. Aging doesn't mean losing control of your health. Every choice you make today impacts your future. You are stronger than you think, and it's never too late to take charge of your well-being. If you found this video helpful, let me know in the comments. Have you or someone you know experienced any of these warning signs? Your story could help someone else. And if you want more tips on living a longer, healthier life, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Take care, stay informed, and here's to a life full of health and happiness.